My name is Tim Albert. I'm the Interim Director of Housing at Seattle University. I'm going to ask two other panelists to quickly let them or introduce themselves, and then I'm going to show you a short video, and then we'll do our presentation, and then we'll have time for questions at the end.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to our housing session. My name is Tyler Murphy. I use he, him, his pronouns, and I am the Assistant Director for Housing Services.
Hello, everyone. I'm Nikki Wisemore. I'm a third-year political science major here at the university, and I'm also work as a desk coordinator for housing and science.
Okay, so I am going to go and share a video. This video was made by two students who work in our department. It's a quick tour of the residence halls. I want to let you know that part of this was they made this during fall, so during a lot of COVID. So there's a lot of things that will look different for next year compared to how this looks. But here's a quick tour of our residence halls to help get you familiarized with our buildings.
Hi, and welcome to Seattle University. We're going to take you on a trip through campus residence halls so you can get a taste of what living on campus looks like. Our first stop, North Campus. There are 3 buildings here in North Campus: By Hilbert, the Yobi Apartments, and Xavier Hall. By Hilbert and the Yobi Apartments are our housing options for upper division students. By Hilbert has a student store connected to the lobby and has a kitchen and common area on each floor. By Hilbert is one of 2 of our housing partnerships with Blanton Turner. Xavier is one of our first-year halls. Welcome to the lobby. Here's a great place for students often hang out and study. They also hold game nights here. Xavier also has a basement with a kitchen, classrooms, and a game room. So if you want to play some games, play the piano, or cook up a meal with friends, this is the place to do it. Each floor comes with a laundry room, which is different from our other 2 first-year halls. Let's go check out our room. So no one lives in this room right now, but let me tell you, if you put up some string lights, some posters, and really personalize it, you can really spice this room up. Each room comes with a mini fridge and a microwave. We're going to take a 7-minute walk towards our next first-year hall, which is in the middle of campus, right next to the student tenement. Let's go. Welcome to Bellarmine Hall. You can study or hang out in the lobby, head over to the Student Health Center for an appointment, or you can head downstairs to the basement to use a computer, cook up meals with your friends, or do your laundry. Here's an example of one of the double rooms in Bellarmine. Each room comes with a mini fridge and a microwave. We're now going to go over the Sky Bridge to head over to Campion Hall, our 3rd first-year hall. This is our biggest residence hall on campus. There are 12 floors, and the view of the sunset here is incredible. Our basement houses not only the laundry room, but it also has our convenience store, The Cave, our call center, and our radio station, KXSU. There are common rooms with kitchens on each floor. Let's head up to one of the rooms to show you what I mean about the beautiful view. Each room is equipped with a microwave and a mini fridge. It's right next to Campion, and here we have 3 apartment-style dorms for upper division students. Let's start at the Murphy Apartments. The Murphy Apartments house about 400 plus students. There is 1 laundry room in our Hopkins building. Each apartment is equipped with a kitchen and a bathroom. There are options to live in quads, doubles, triples, or singles. Let's show you an example of one of our single studios. Thanks so much for that room tour. We're going to head over now to Chardon Hall, which is right by our beautiful SU Park. Chardon Hall houses upper division students as well. Amenities include a laundry room, common room, kitchen, and movie room on each floor. There are also classrooms and meeting rooms downstairs that can be utilized by students to study or hang out when classes or other meetings are not in session. Let's head across the street to the Douglas Apartments. The Dougies is our other residence hall that is in partnership with Benton Turner. Here's what the lounge looks like. The Dougies is similar to the Murphy Apartments in that each room has a kitchen and a bathroom in it. Right down the street is our gym, the UREC. Because of COVID-19, campus residence life isn't exactly how we describe in this video, but it is still Housing's goal to maintain student connection with the community as much as we can. We have taken precautions to foster this in a safe way by tuning our campus to follow social distancing protocols and guidelines. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to Housing and Residence Life. Thank you so much for following us on this journey through the residence halls on campus. We hope you can see yourself here at Seattle U, and we hope to see you here in the future. Hawks up!
Okay, so now I'm going to just quickly switch over to my presentation here. There we go. Okay. Okay, so again, my name's Tim Albert, and I am the interim director of housing at Seattle University. So just to tell you a little bit about living on campus at Seattle University. In the Catholic Jesuit tradition, the university is committed to the education of the whole person. And housing is, and that on-campus residential experience is really seen as an integral part of that, particularly for the first 2 years of a student's time here on campus. Part of this is because living on campus supports and fosters personal connections. So it's not just connections to other students, it's also connection to the university, to services, and greater connection to their faculty. It also comes with community membership, and it makes it much easier for students to participate in on-campus programs, access services like the writing lab or the math lab, to utilize student health, and a whole variety of other services, because nothing's more than about 5 minutes away. There's also convenience and proximity to academic and campus services. And then really the last part is the care of our residential students. What we mean by that is we always have somebody who's available or to work with a student 24/7 who might be having a crisis or a personal issue where they need to talk to somebody. So that doesn't necessarily mean we have somebody who's there to just chat for any reason 24/7, but to assist students who may be experiencing personal crisis or need that extra support at any time of the day. So just a little bit else. SU provides an experience that helps support lifelong student success. So a lot of that is through our different programs and services that we have that help support their classroom environment, but also their out-of-class experience, and how they build on that. The campus residential environment provides learning, but also exploration. And what we say by exploration, there's going to be programs and services that we have for students that at times may challenge them to grow. But as we like to say, it's challenge by choice. You don't have to go to a program that you may not feel ready for, but if you're ready in a supportive environment to learn something new, or to take on a challenging issue, that's what it's there for. We have programs and policies that help facilitate personal development, personal responsibility, and also self-accountability. And then lastly, the residential experience, it's going to be important. It's going to be personally meaningful, but it's also going to be fun. You will get out of it what you choose to put in. Okay, so I just want to talk really quickly about the residential experience and sort of the value added aspects of living on. I'm not going to read every one of these bullet points, but these bullet points all come from research that has happened over the last 60 years about what happens when students live on campus. And in particular, during those first 2 years that are really formational during their time on campus. A big piece is there is that greater sense of belonging and stronger connection to the institution, to their fellow students, that greater ability to access services that can also help enhance academic performance. They tend to be able to, students who live on campus, manage higher course loads. Some of that's because you're not spending as much time commuting, and you can spend that more studying or in your co-curricular pursuits. But we do see that they can typically do that. And really, students who live on campus tend to get more involved in student organizations, take on greater leadership positions, and then also tend to report better connections to students, better connections to also faculty and staff. And they tend to utilize the resources much more because it's right there. So that's just a little bit of sort of the value added piece of living on campus. As part of that, the university does have a live-on requirement. So during the first 2 years of school, so that's their freshman and sophomore year, for students who are under the age of 21, they are expected to live on campus unless they choose to apply for an exemption, and that's through the regular application process. They would apply for an exemption to live at home with family members. So that is the one exception that we do provide. Okay, so just a little bit about, who are these people who are here to help the students. So besides the folks in the central office, so that would include me and Tyler, we're in the process of filling a few other positions for our office right now. We have professional staff who live on campus, and they live in the residence halls with the students, and they're there to help support them. The first one is our area coordinators. And so these are our master's level staff members. They live in the residence halls. They supervise the student staff of the building, and they're there. They provide late night duty assisting students who, again, are in crisis or may need something, but also there to ensure kind of the safety of the building. They are assisted by the assistant area coordinators, who are folks who are getting a degree in higher ed or counseling. And so they're in one of their 2 years of completing that degree, and they're there to do the same things, but they're one more level of person. And we have those in all of our buildings, both the assistant area coordinator and the area coordinator. They supervise jointly the resident assistant staff who are in the building. Resident assistants are students who have been highly trained. They get about 3 weeks of training or full-time training, who live on the floors with the students. In freshman buildings, there's 2 per floor. And they're there to provide educational and community development programming, help enforce policies, and respond to emergency conditions, or bring in staff to respond to emergency conditions if they arise. But they're the students who are there to kind of help students get acclimated and become part of the university. Then we have the desk assistants. And so those are students who sit at our front desks, obviously, or our service desks, and they're there to provide a level of security, but they're also there to help students answer questions, get them mail or packages, which is probably one of the most important things, but also things like equipment that they may need. But often it's all, especially during those first few weeks, it's, I'm in this classroom. I don't know where this is. Where do I go? And the desk assistants will help them find their way. And so that kind of is our basic housing staff. But then we also have a couple of other staff members. We have our resident ministers and our Jesuits in residence. And they help provide spiritual guidance, but are also there just to talk to students and help them learn to connect and learn to connect with each other. And many of them also have other roles on campus. Some of our Jesuits and resident ministers are faculty members, so some students may see them in their classes. They may have administrative roles at the university. So that is the basic housing and residential life staff that we have here at Seattle U. Okay, I'm going to turn this over to Tyler so I can stop talking for 1 minute. Tyler.
All right, so I'm going to talk to everyone a little bit about our theme communities. So we understand that, especially for new students, new freshmen, new transfers into the campus community, campus can sometimes feel big or overwhelming at times. And what we try to do is we try to bring students together with common interests, or maybe even taking similar courses or in the same major. So what these theme communities essentially are communities within communities in our residence halls. And they're designed, as I mentioned, they're designed around different interests or around different academic classes that students can take here at Seattle U. And on the screen here, this gives you a breakdown of all of the different theme communities in our freshman residence halls and where they're located. So in Bellarmine Hall, we have career discovery, business and innovation, and the STEM and health professions theme communities. In Campion Hall, we have outdoor exploration, mind, body, and wellness, creative expression, and our Millie Brown Wrestle and social change theme community. And in Xavier Hall, the entire residence hall is global exploration. So on the housing application, when first-time students apply, they'll be able to indicate which theme community they're interested in living in. And when we go to assign all of our new students, we will take their preferences for theme communities into consideration when we make our assignments. So again, students don't necessarily have to be part of a certain academic program to be a part of a theme community. So for example, the STEM and health professions, it's not a theme community just for nursing students. It can be for other students who may be just interested in that theme community as well. So they are open to everyone who is interested in any of these. And I will continue on with all of the options for our residence halls. So this page here breaks down all of the different options for on-campus living here at Seattle University. So for all of our first-year students, we have our traditional style residence halls, Bellarmine, Campion, and Xavier. For sophomores or second-year students, we have, again, Bellarmine, Campion, and Xavier for those students who would like to continue living in a residence hall style community. We also have Yobi and yes, the Yobi apartments. And then juniors and seniors for our upper division students, we have the Colvenbach House, the Murphy Apartments, Douglas Apartments, and by Hilbert Apartments as well.
This does not, there we go. And then we have Chardin for our sophomore students, and that includes its suite style housing. Okay, and I'm getting this weird box again. This occasionally happens and then sometimes it goes away. Let me talk to you a little bit about the residence hall amenities that we have. And the first is that we have the service desk that we already mentioned, where students can get assistance, packages, equipment, get questions answered. And then in the evenings, public safety actually sits at those desks. We also have Ethernet and Wi-Fi throughout our residence halls. And if you're buying a new laptop or computer, you want to make sure you do have an Ethernet adapter for your computer. And that is just because anytime you're in your room, that's going to be faster, particularly if you like to play online games and things like that. It's a better connection for you. We have computers and printing labs, although most students do bring their own computers, but we do have that available in all of our buildings, along with printing services. And one of the things we have at Seattle University is a campus-wide printing queue. So students can send it right from their room to the printer, and then they can find any printer on campus where they can choose to print it off. So we have them in the residence halls, we have them in other places. We also have the micro fridge in each student room. And so that's a unit that includes a microwave on the very top, and then a freezer, and then a refrigerator. And there was like a little view of that on the building tour when we saw that, but that's in every room. So students do not need to bring their own little microwave or refrigerator. In fact, you can't. So, but we do want students to bring that. We also have, our furniture is all modular. So what does that really mean? What it means is furniture is meant to be moved around, including the wardrobes that are in their rooms, but they can move the furniture around so that they can find kind of the best setup for them. And so lots of students will do a lot of different setups. We have study lounges in each of our buildings, and what that also includes is individual study rooms, large group study spaces, and that's available to the students of the building 24/7. We have laundry facilities in every building, and in some cases they're on the same floors, and in some cases it's in one large space. So it may be spaced out throughout the building, and then in other cases it may be in different locations in the buildings. We have community kitchens, and so you saw the Xavier one, which is just a beautiful kitchen that a lot of the students will choose to use. And then camping actually has one on each floor, which is nice. And Bellarmine has one in the basement next to the laundry room. We have music and game room. And then really lastly on this part I'm going to talk about, we have really fantastic custodial and maintenance services. And in most cases, unless it's an emergency, they complete most work orders for something that needs extra cleaning or has broken in 1 to 2 business days. Now, if it is an emergency, a pipe breaks, their sink has overflooded, they will come out 24/7 to fix those issues. Okay, I'm going to turn this over to Tyler for the housing portal.
All right, so the one important takeaway from this particular slide is that the housing portal is going to be your one-stop shop for anything housing related here at Seattle University. So the housing portal is where you'll apply for housing. That's where our application is held. Any type of change requests like meal plan changes, room change requests, any important information like messaging that gets sent from our office will be on our housing portal. So that is going to be your one-stop shop. So whenever you hear the term housing portal, log on to the housing portal, do this, do that on the portal, that's what it is. So to give you some important dates regarding the application process, May 5th is when the application will open up for all of our incoming first-time freshmen or transfer students to Seattle University. It's not a first come, first serve type of application process here. So you don't have to log on right at 12 noon on May 5th when the application opens. As you can see, we have a range of time where freshmen can log on and apply. So we do ask freshmen to submit their housing application by June 1st. So essentially students will have that entire month range to log on and apply for housing. After the application priority deadline is June 1st, we will then move into our next portion of the application process, which is roommate searching and matching. So after a student fills out an application on June 1st, we will open up our portal for incoming freshmen and transfers to be able to search for potential roommates. And you will be receiving more information when that time gets closer. But essentially, to give you an idea of how our roommate search or roommate matching and searching process works, we ask you questions on our housing application, questions related to lifestyle and living. So what time do you wake up? What time do you go to sleep? How clean do you like your room? How often do you clean? Do you like to study with people in your room or music, or do you prefer to be alone, studying quiet? So different questions like that you'll be able to answer. And when the roommate searching process opens up, you'll be able to see how well you match up with other people who have written similar answers or who have chosen similar responses to our questions. And you'll be able to see about 50 to 60 different people at a time. Look at their profiles, look at how they answered all of the other questions. If you find anyone or any particular individuals that you feel like you would match well with in terms of roommate, in terms of living, you'll be able to send messages back and forth to each other on the housing portal. And then if you feel like you found the correct match and the feeling is mutual, you'll be able to officially request that other person to be in a roommate group. And we will assign you two together in a space once we make assignments.
And just a quick update on that also, just so you're aware, not every student will choose to have us pre-assign an email or a roommate or for us to create a roommate. About 60% of students will either come in with a roommate or find a roommate through the housing portal, which also means that about 40% of our students don't. And so if a student doesn't want to do that, we're happy to assist them, but students do have that as an option. Okay, so really quick, just a little bit about the Residence Hall Association and hall councils. So once a student is assigned a building, then they are automatically part of the Residence Hall Association and the hall council of their building. Really, RHA and the hall councils, they serve as the governing body, the student governing body in the residence halls. They tend to plan large scale events, but also advocate for students. To make changes to policy, but they also put on a lot of large different events such as casino night and hall Olympics and a lot of other programs and game night and park fest to really help our students get connected. And any student, even if they don't choose to take a leadership position, may participate in all of the programs, but also can go and advocate for what they want at any hall council or RHA event. And then here's just a quick little sample of some of the over 200 programs that we offer in the residence halls every quarter. This is just to give you an idea of what they are. It doesn't mean that these will be exactly the programs that we have for next year, but it's just a quick sample of what we do. Now, I want to just take a moment here to go over COVID. This particular year, we had a lot of precautions put in place to ensure student safety here at Seattle University for the students who were choosing to live on. We are still developing our plans for next fall. And some of this will include some de-densification. So what does that mean? We are going to return back to double rooms, but we aren't going to be offering triple rooms. And there are some other housing options that we won't be offering in order to create a little bit more space. We are likely to have some sort of mask mandate, at least for fall, while students are outside of their room. But whatever we do, it's going to be based on the guidance from the CDC and the Washington State Department of Health as we get those. So we will probably not do everything that we did this last year, but some of those things do include like hand sanitizing stations. And even though we will primarily be returning to in-class opportunities for students, there'll probably be some physical distancing and some online class options. Okay, so really quick, I do want to kind of end my time here in talking about this on Red Hawk Dining before I move it over to a video. We have 6 main retail locations on campus. The first one is Cherry Street. So that's like the big dining area where you have lots of different stations. And one of the stations we do have, it's called Thrive Without 9, and that's specifically geared towards our students who may have food allergies or food intolerances, and it kind of avoids the main 9 food allergens. But it also has, it has the salad bar, and it has lots of different locations where you can get different types of food, along with a lot of grab and go options. The next location I want to talk about is Hawk's Nest Bistro, and that's on the 3rd floor of the Student Center. And that's kind of open late into the night where students can get specialty pizzas and burritos and a whole bunch of other items, along with, you can still get soups, salads, sandwiches, and lots of fresh things. And then all of our locations, including obviously the 3 coffee shops I will talk about, have coffee, tea, espresso drink, all of that. And that's at all of our different locations. We are in Seattle, so students do kind of expect to have that. Then the next location I want to talk about, and it's in Campion Hall, and that is our the Cave, and it's our convenience store. And it's kind of like a sort of a mini version. What they kind of go for is a little bit of a mini version of Whole Foods, where they have a lot of fresh and organic produce that students can get. But they also have a full meal station where students can get hot meals and a variety of different things, along with various items that they can bring back to their room that are frozen, or, you know, soups and different items that they can have, and along with some sundry items like I need extra toothpaste or laundry detergent or soap, and they can use their dining dollars towards that. And then the last three options that we have are the Bite, the Sidebar, and the Bottom Line. Now we call them coffee shops, but each one of them has fresh made soups, salad, sandwiches, so that if you're a student who is maybe a business major and you're spending the whole day in Piggott, they have a great sort of, I'd say, meal line where it's every day they have a different meal that a student can have put together in different ways. It's kind of customized, but they can get something that is healthy every single day at any one of the locations on campus. And then along with obviously coffee, tea, and other drinks and foods and grab and go items. So that's our basic dining. And if you go onto our webpage, you can find a whole lot more about that. But a little bit about how our meal plans work. All of our meal service right now is a la carte. So what that means is students buy the items that they want, and then they don't buy the items that they don't want. So all the meal plans are declining balance. You start off with a certain balance for each term, and then it goes down and it resets for the next term. $250 rolls over from one term to the next, but at the end of the year, it goes away. We would generally tell students to err on the side of, you know, don't get the largest meal plan, kind of get here and wait, because we do have the ability through the housing portal where you can add additional funds if you're getting low. So I think that's a better option than choosing a really large meal plan and having unused funds. Okay, so right now I want to just show you one more little quick video, and this is what move-in will hopefully look like. It's what our normal move-in looks like. We're hoping it will be something like this for this next year.
I've been waiting all summer long for this day to come because, you know, the campus feels a little bit empty without all the students that will finally all be here by next Wednesday. But this day, the move-in day, is really the start of it all.
I'm an orientation advisor, so I've been leading orientations during the summer and during welcome week to help get students more acquainted with the school. My job is to move in students and make the absolute best first impression.
I'm moving forward with my life, stepping up from being a teenager to a responsible adult.
It's really cool. It's the first time I've ever moved ever. So I'm moving out of my house. So that's cool.
Cool for you.
Happy moving, y'all, and welcome home. Yay!
Okay, so just a few dates that I want to throw out here for you. You do not need to write these down. We have the Guide to Residence Hall or applying to live on campus, and you can get all these dates and everything from there. So hopefully this week, students saw an email from admissions that gave them the guide. If you did not see that, you can get it right from our webpage. May 5th is when the portal opens up on the housing website for new students to begin applying. A couple of the other dates I want to point out is the June 1 to July 13th. So that's when the roommate searching is available through our housing portal. And then really it's July 27th, and that's when room assignments are available on the housing portal for students at 4 p.m. Pacific time. And so that's where they can also get roommate information and all that good stuff. And then really the last main date I want students to be aware of is that September 18th. So that's the move-in for new students. That's the main move-in day. We may have some students who need to move in earlier if they're part of a particular program, or there may be some other need-based reason for students to move in. So those are just a few of the dates to keep in mind. And now I'm going to exit out of this sharing, and we're going to go to this. And I'm going to ask Nikki a few questions to get a student perspective. And just so everybody is aware, our student of the day, whoever we have on this, I don't really prepare them a great deal for this. I don't give them what they have to say. They give their opinion. So Nikki, why don't you start off by doing a little introduction, where you live now, what positions you've held on campus. Then just tell us maybe about a favorite memory, one or two things that you think is convenient of living on, and then maybe a little advice you'd give to a new student.
Sure. So once again, I'm Nikki Wisemore. I go by she, her pronouns. I'm a third year political science major and will be graduating this upcoming fall. I have served on campus as a desk assistant last year, and now I'm a desk coordinator for Xavier Hall, which you saw is one of our first year residence halls, and it's definitely one of my favorite buildings on campus. I've also served as the vice president for the Red Hawk Band, which if any of you have interest in band and want to play an instrument on campus for the basketball games, that is an opportunity for you. I'm currently living in a Murphy apartment. I would give you a tour, but I have a lot of my mess pushed to the side so you can't see it. But I saw a question about singles for upper division, and the Murphy apartments is definitely an option for that. You can have a single in your room, have a single room with a bed, bathroom, kitchen. I really enjoy it as having my own space. And I lived in Xavier Hall my first year and loved it. One of my favorite memories is in Xavier Hall, where we had what we called Snowmageddon, where it just poured snow my first year. And classes were canceled for almost a week, just consistently no class. Everyone was cheering. Every time I got the email that class was canceled for the next day. And what I love about Xavier Hall is they have classrooms in the basement that the students can use in their free time for studying, game nights, watching movies. And so my friends and I hunkered down in there with blankets and pillows and just did a Harry Potter marathon for about 2 days. And just enjoyed being with each other, not having class, went outside, made a snowman. We have excellent hills on campus, so you can go sledding down them. And it's a lot of fun. That's definitely, I think, the highlight is that movie night and just getting to sled on campus whenever we get a chance of snow. Some advice I have for first years is to really get out of your comfort zone and go try things you usually wouldn't do. Go to an RHA event, go to a basketball game, go to different parks, different spaces around campus and off campus. We're really close to Pike Place Market and the pier. We're close to so many parks like Gasworks. You can go to Volunteer Park, International District. There's so many places to explore that just stepping out of your comfort zone, finding a few people to go with you and just take some time off campus is always worth it. And try to allow yourself to express yourself, kind of learn more about yourself, how you study, the people you want to interact with. I think that's a really important part of college. And convenience of living on campus, as I said, there's access to so many different places, many different restaurants, with so many places with good food that you don't have to spend a ton of money on. A lot of places give discounts for being a Seattle U student. So definitely take advantage of that. You're only a couple minute walk from friends who live in different residence halls, unlike really big college campuses where it can take maybe 20 minutes to find friends. You can just say, hey, let's meet up in 10 minutes and you're off to go to explore the city. We also have a dog park, which is currently closed right now because it's under repair, but community members from around the area will bring their dogs, bring their families, their pets, just let them run free in the dog park, and you can sit there with a blanket and your laptop doing homework and the dogs will run up to you and they'll want to play with you. They'll want you to pet them. And it's honestly one of the best things. And I'm really looking forward to that opening back up. And also one of the main things is just getting to connect with residence assistants or RAs and the desk assistants. We are such an amazing community, and getting to interact with students, getting to see them grow and becoming, getting to hear about their day, be there to assist them and support them is always one of our favorite things to do. So yeah, if you have any questions about student life, about the Murphy Apartments, or Xavier Hall, I'm happy to help you with that.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is try to quickly look through some of these questions and answer some of the ones that I'm going to quickly run through some of these questions, see what I can answer quickly. In some cases, I may hand it over to Nikki. Oh, Nikki, did you have something?
I did see one about cars, because I experienced this year when I brought my car over for the first time. You are able to park on campus. You do have to get a parking pass, which can be about, I think it was like $265 per quarter. And you can park, the Murphys have a parking garage. If you go to the Douglas or the Dougies, they have their own parking garage, and we have several other outdoor ones around campus.
Yeah, and I would say usually first year students are not allowed to actually have a car on campus, but you can apply to parking services if you have a need for a car. And then they can consider it. So there was a question about the counseling center. And so you should go to their website to see the different services that the counseling center can offer. I don't think that I'm probably the best one to answer that question, but I would say, please go see that. Another is about Running Start, and this one comes up a lot. It says they're a first year student, but junior status. They do not qualify to be considered a junior during that first year. We have them live with their peers of the same age group that they're there. So for their first year, they will be basically a first year student when they're in housing. Are there gender specific floors and bathrooms in the residence halls? And yes, so most rooms are by room. So you have, there's 2 men in this room, there's 2 women in there, and then we have the bathrooms down the hall. For those who don't have a good idea of what the bathrooms are like, you'll see things on the movies, and it's not like that for us. So in the, whether it's the men's restroom or the women's restroom, everything is a private individual stall for the students, and that includes the shower areas. We do not have like the large group showers, anything like that. Everything is private. There's a changing room, and then there's the individual shower, and that's for each person. And then obviously if we have a floor that's an all women's floor, then both bathrooms are actually, will be for all women. Will classroom sizes be reduced to these precautions? The university is still working on that. I'm not the person who will be able to talk too much about what the classrooms will look like. We are, I know I do serve on one committee where we are at least talking about how classrooms may look different, and they may have days where students do certain things online and then others where they come to class. But it will look a little different. For upper division student housing, do the apartments have single rooms options? And yes, they have single rooms and also single bedrooms within larger units such as quads and townhouses. What is the policy of having pets on campus? And the policy is we don't have pets on campus. Students who have the need for an ESA or a service animal may go through our disability services for that. But the only pets we allow on campus are for fish, and it has to be in a smaller size tank, and you can find that on our website, the specific sizes. What do you guys have in the community kitchens that students can use? Pots, pans, things like that. So we don't actually keep it in the kitchen, but students can check out through their front desk to get some pots and pans. We don't have unlimited supplies. We do have some supplies. We have not offered them this year due to COVID restrictions, partly because we've had the kitchens closed most of the year. We have started to be able to open up our kitchens. But in a normal year, students may check out some really basic equipment from that. If you're somebody who likes to cook more often, I would strongly suggest you bring some of your own. And we don't provide things like plates and forks and knives. That's a little bit more of what we want students to bring for themselves. Is there storage under the bed in the first year halls? Yes, and your beds actually can change to different sizes. You can find more about that on our website, and we're actually hoping to get some more specific drawings. But there is some storage under your bed. Don't necessarily think of it as like a huge storage. You know, one word of advice that I do have for students, a lot of people want to bring everything they own. Don't do that. You're sharing that room with somebody else. You need to make sure that both of you have space in there. And sometimes bringing one or two less things can help create a lot more space, and that can actually be the more comfortable thing. But do bring the things that you need to bring. Let's see. So can I talk more about the creative expression community and camping? I can't give a whole lot of specifics because exactly how the learning community or the theme communities work each year changes a little bit. Right now, I am actually working to see which of the faculty will be working with it, but it is more centered around arts, and it's usually somebody in one of the arts programs that serves as the advisor, and occasionally one of our Jesuits. We do have one of the chairs of fine arts who's one of the Jesuits who actually lives in Campion and lives on one of the floors. But a lot of the different programs that we do in each theme community is somewhat directed by the interests of the students. And that's why it can vary a little year to year based on some of those things that they want to do. But some of the programs that they will always do, faculty will be bringing students, or at least have options for students to go to museums and to listen to concerts and different things like that. But the students may also then choose that they want to do different programs than just what the faculty are doing that. How much does it cost to rent various items from the front desk? And it's nothing. We don't charge for utilizing our services. How soon will the application for desk assistance be available? We'll actually be doing that in the summer. We are going to be looking for a number of new students every year to help work at our desks. And then, can I bring a mini rice cooker? Yes, please make sure any appliance you bring should have an auto shut off. So we do allow rice cookers and some others as long as they have a shut off. What we don't allow is like open coil things. So that would be like hot plates and things like that. You know, we do have kitchens that students can use, but those tend to be a big source of household fire. So that's why we don't want them in the residence halls. Is there a place to play guitar, keyboard in any of the halls? Yes, we do have music rooms where students can go and get that reserved. Okay. So let's see, will we be doing this seminar at a different date? No, but it will be online, and students can certainly ask us any questions. So students will be able to submit an early arrival after they get their room assignments, and these are reviewed on a case-by-case basis. And if they already are in like a particular program, like let's say they're a student athlete that they have to arrive early for, most of those programs where students need to arrive early have already made those arrangements. So that program director will be able to tell them what that move-in date is. Let's see, parking for the affiliated housing is through those apartments. So what are the bathrooms like? Nikki, I'm going to stop talking for a minute because this has been about 15 minutes straight. Why don't you tell us, what are the bathrooms like?
Yeah, so I can mainly attest to Xavier Hall. They are a shared bathroom area, kind of like if you walk into a restaurant or a grocery store, there's multiple stalls for the toilets, and then the showers are right next to it. And I know Xavier Hall had 3 showers lined up with curtains and stalls, so you're separate, you're able to have your own private space. The only issue you may run into is there's people using the showers. Now you got to wait maybe 15, 20 minutes for your turn. So just trying to find your window of the day of when you can do that is something you'll learn as you go through. But the bathrooms are cleaned, I believe, every day or every other day. Right now with COVID, they're being they're being cleaned a lot more to make sure that students are staying safe and not at risk. And they'll clean the showers, they'll clean the toilets. So you may find times when you're needing to go to the bathroom and the bathroom is closed because it's being under maintenance. But they are on usually every floor, and bigger residence halls will have more bathroom stalls and more shower stalls.
So let's see here. I will not be able to answer every question on here. So one is about shipping stuff for move-in day. So you can ship stuff. We'll send more information. Once students get their room assignments, we'll also have available on our website something called the move-in guide that can kind of take students through that. We'll also be offering some sessions in the summer when we're going to have some, like for students who are struggling with filling out their housing. So that will be in May. In June, we're going to have some that are going to be on searching for roommates. And then in August, we'll have kind of transitioning to your new room and move in and how that works. But what I would say is you want to mail things so that they arrive a few days before you arrive. So don't ship it like a month early, like the day that you get your room assignment. Ship it about 10 days before you arrive. That way it has plenty of time to get here, and then it will be available at your front desk at move-in. So you can definitely ship beforehand. What is the policy to return to student housing after Thanksgiving? So students may choose to stay here for Thanksgiving. Classes are going to go all online after Thanksgiving, but some students will stay here over that Thanksgiving break and for the 2 weeks after. For winter break, we do ask that students go home. Unless there's an emergency or some reason that they need to stay. They don't have to move all their stuff out. It's just that they go home for winter break and then they return. And I believe the date that they would return on is January 2nd or 3rd. I believe classes start on the 4th. And so students can return at that time. Usually the biggest thing that they bring home is a lot of laundry, is often what goes home with them. But they can leave everything else here. They don't need to move out at that time. So mattress sizes, we use extra long mattresses in almost all of our rooms. So I think that's 80 by 36. So they're twin, but they're the twin XL. And I would suggest to get the twin XL bed sheets. I think some of our mattresses in Xavier are still the regular ones, but everything else is twin XL. So you do want to make sure you have that because it will fit regardless of where you are living on campus and what where you move to over your time here. Can we schedule a campus tour? Yes, and that is through the admissions office, and they do have that online. Just so you're aware, right now we are not doing residence hall tours or in-building tours, and that's a restriction that we have through the state right now. And because we are thinking about the number of people that can enter residence halls, so we are keeping that for our students. There will be some time once we get into the summer where we will allow some residence halls tours when those buildings are empty, so people will be able to go through and do that. So I would check back with admissions if you want to get a residence hall tour at that time. And is housing any different for athletes? And no, athletes are like students, like everybody else, and they have the same opportunities for housing as everyone else, and they don't get privileges over other students. And that's our approach towards everybody. Can you bring your own TV? Yes, we do not have cable in student rooms. Most students use their computers to watch things online. But you could hook it up through your Ethernet. So can we bring our own mattress? We do not take equipment out of the rooms unless there's a medical need. So if you want to bring your own mattress, your other mattress is going to be there unless there's a medical need. And that is something you would want to chat with. Can a friend visit from outside of the school, say in the dorm? And I would say the answer is possibly. I don't know exactly what restrictions we're going to have for next year based on where the pandemic is. I'm hoping that we're going to be able to be a lot more open, but there may be some restrictions. At the same time, with our regular policies in the traditional residence halls, you can have a friend visit, but if that friend is going to spend the night, they need to be of the same gender, and that also has to be with permission of your roommate. And that's an important piece to that. Single gender bathrooms are co-ed, including showers. All bathrooms are single gender. Bellarmine does have a private individual bathroom that students can use that is separate, and that's an ADA bathroom, but we do have those on each floor. And then when they're in their apartments or suites, those are bathrooms in those particular apartments and suites. But bathrooms are meant to be single gender and are not co-ed. If you want to reach out to inquire about financial assistance, housing does not control any financial aid, so that all of that is through our financial aid work or our financial aid office. And then things like the gym and facilities, and I'm gonna let Nikki talk a little bit about the gym. I will say I actually like it and I do work out there. I can't right now because we're restricting it just to students, but we do have a gym on campus. Nikki, do you want to talk about it?
Oh, hold on. I accidentally clicked out. Yeah, our gym right now is restricted due to COVID. We do have a kind of a basketball court area where students can go and work out. And then we also have what's called open rec, where we have this really huge field right outside my window, actually in front of the Murphys, where students are able to work out, run around, get their exercise, or even some students have gone out there to sit in the sun. And so we do have opportunities to work out right now. In the fall, if they do open up the gym, it's a really great space. It's multi-floored with weights, cardio, side rooms where you can go and do ab workouts, or if you want to do a HIIT workout, there's mats available. It's a really great space, and I've always felt comfortable in there. And it's really spacious and definitely a place to check out, even if you want to just go walk on the treadmill with a book in front of you for a little while.
Okay, well, we have actually used up a whole hour, so I will stay on for a few minutes for anybody who has any additional questions. I also put the link to the guide to applying for housing, so if you have not seen that, please look at that, read that through, and then that way you'll be all prepared come May 5th. And are we expecting that there will be housing for all students? Yes, we are. We do not run out of housing. Even with us doing a little bit of de-densification, we will not be running out of housing. Part of those partnerships we did was to, with those other partnership buildings on campus, was to provide an additional 500 beds of housing that is for SU students on our campus. So anyway, how can we get the recording for this? This will be through the admissions office, and you can contact them. And anyway, thank you for attending. If you have any specific questions, please feel free to email our office at housing@seattleu.edu or give us a call in the office and you can get that information right from our webpage. Thank you all. Everybody have a great day. And we'll see you all later.